Take two. Let's try again. Hopefully we get to stay back, Ghostface. Hopefully. If it crashes again, because I'm running out of things I can do. Although there was a Windows update, so a little like low-key prayer I have is like that the Windows update is fixing whatever that last update did, because I had an update like 10 days ago, and ever since the update, that's when everything's been crashing. And now there's another Windows update, so I'm hoping, but I'm also not expecting. I'm expecting it to crash again. It's just weird how some days it doesn't crash at all, and other days it just crashes. Can't figure it out. Spilled my tea too, Big Sag. So Brain Boner, if it crashes again, I'm coming back again to play Guitar Hero, and then I'm just gonna play Guitar Hero and see if it crashes while playing Guitar Hero. I'm really hoping we don't crash this time. 420. Oh, why did I do that? We're probably gonna have a DC penalty. 15 minutes, bro.
This cannot possibly be real.
Because it wasn't 20 minutes or 20 games since my last crash. I did crash on Friday, didn't I? Thing is, I couldn't ready up before this either. That is rough. I feel bad for the teammates, though. It's not going to reset. Okay, nice.
You never know what the night will bring.
I've always played on the lowest resolution. Always have. That's why it's kind of a surprise. Because, like, even my temps, everything's fine. I don't know what's causing the crash. It's just suddenly my whole PC freezes. Because my PC was not crashing. Like, I took a week where I didn't stream at all. That was last week. The week before last week. Sorry, I'm so used to saying last week. So it was 2 weeks ago. I didn't take, or I didn't stream at all. And there was a update during that week, and I was not having any crash problem before that. And then when I came back that first day, it crashed like 4 times. The second day, it crashed once, and I was still like trying to figure out things to do. Then the next 2 days, it didn't crash at all, and then Friday, it crashed once, I think. And that's when I went down to 1080p because I'm usually in 1440p. Oh, to verify the integrity of the files or something. I don't know if it only crashes for DVD. That's what I was gonna. If I, here's the thing: if I back out, because if I play Clone Hero, it always closes my DVD for some reason. And if I do that, it's gonna reset my counter, right? Or is it gonna be still at whatever? Yeah, all the files are fine. The whole PC crashes. Like that's, I just don't get it. Three when I chirp, shawty chirp back, Lou and knapsack, where I holding all the work at. Yeah, this was my MySpace song. Or MySpace. That was the best part about MySpace. They had to listen to whatever song you had. They clicked on your profile, they were gonna hear this with me. I watched The French Connection today. That was a great movie. I keep watching movies where the bad guy gets away. Apparently, there's a French Connection too. I don't know if that's any difference or not. If he like gets away with it or not. I watched Chinatown before that. Chinatown had one of the most detestable villains I have ever seen in any movie ever, and he gets away with it. And the main killer helped him get away with it, and he didn't know it until the end of the movie. Because the main character is Jack Nicholson. He's a private investigator. Play Ash. I wish I could play Ash right now, but I can't play Ash just yet. It's, it's just, yeah, I just can't figure it out. I can't figure out what's making this cry. Especially because I was playing it, not playing in 1440p, but I had my computer in 1440p before as well. I lowered that to 1080. I even lowered my webcam to 30 frames instead of 60. I'm trying to lower everything I can. There's a few more things that my computer is doing that I could fix. I'm running out of ways to sort of improve the computer. And so I'm hoping that last Windows update fixed whatever it was. If I don't crash the rest of the week after that Windows update, then I'm going back to 1440 and just saying it was just a bad Windows update that was making everything act terrible. Yeah, it can. Here. 23%. There's so many things. The Dead by Daylight is taking the most, obviously. This right here. Fuck is this taking so much for? If I close this, does that close? No, it doesn't. Steam Client Helper. Yeah, that's still more RAM than it really should be using. I think I have 64 gigabytes. I was like, it's even 23%. Feels like that's more than it should be. That's like a quarter of that. That's like 16 gigabytes, I suppose. That sounds maybe about right. If I'm streaming and playing and listening to music and I'm streaming on 2 and using my Steam Deck and you know what I mean, like then 16 sounds maybe about right, I suppose. But the CPU as well, like nothing should be like, and even a Windows 11 just takes a lot of RAM. Yeah, I should be prepared for it though. It is an old computer. The computer is like 8 years old. But I switched to Windows 11 like a few months ago. That's the thing. It wasn't like having a regular time crashing either. Then all of a sudden, after I took the week where I didn't stream, there was an update during that week. I did update it. Yeah, but it was running fine. That's the thing. I was playing DBD and everything was running fine. I didn't make any changes, and all of a sudden it just started crashing. I thought it might have been like because I have my keyboard color. It's lit up white. I'll show you. Yeah, it's lit up white. You see, and like when it gets what is considered like any type of warm, it turns green, and if it gets any type of like actually warm, even when it's not like what's considered hot yet, but just warm, um, then it turns red. And I have it on my processor, but it wasn't ever like turning any type of colors. So then that last time it crashed, I had it on my GPU because it's 2 different profiles and same thing. It didn't get any type of warm at all. Well, that's the thing. We haven't confirmed if it's just DBD or not because every time I've made some type of change, it didn't crash the rest of the day. So now I'm like, huh. But then I didn't make a change and then it crashed again. You know what I mean? I was just like, Yeah, it does. There's a program called IQ. There's a few different things it can do. It can do like if you press, it can be like completely no lights at all, and you press a button and it ripples the whatever color you want. Like you can program it, do different stuff. But that's the thing is, I knew it's not getting warm or anything like that. Because it does change colors every now and then. I know it works, and I'm like, huh. Like whatever I was doing there was stressing the processor out. Could be my power supply. How would I be able to tell if it was my power supply? How old is it? Like 8 years, yeah. It's like 8 years. Here's the thing too, why I don't think it'd be the power supply is because um one of the times it froze, and the thing is even when it does freeze, it freezes, but it's still making the DBD sounds. And like until like all goes black. And one time it stayed frozen like that for like a straight up minute. Because then I took my headphones off in case like it was gonna spit some crazy loud sound out at me right before it turned off, which it did not do. But that was the thing. But it's a long time. But how would I be able to tell if it was the power supply? Because what happens if I buy a new power supply and the same shit is happening? You know? Yeah, Soothsayer is a great song. Like, how did you know it was your power supply? And you changed your power supply and it was working? But also, what's up, Nihilism? Yeah, we're back for a little bit until it crashes again. I still can't figure out what's making it crash. It only crashed once today. Yeah, it did crash again. Deontay. That's why I got a DC pass. Oh, you can't see I'm covering up the DC penalty, but I'll wait out. And if it crashes again, I'm going to play some Clone Hero just to see if that crashes. You know? You're having the same issue right now? Oh, Mania? Yeah, it was live nihilism too. We played like a few games. We had a really epic escape that was funny because it was like an epic escape that wasn't. Because it was a super long epic chase, so we made it out, but the killer short swung, and they're on controller, and I was like, they probably didn't even skill shoot that. They probably literally just short swung. Because you know how the game just does that to you? I just don't know why it just started out of nowhere. That's the only thing. And if it was a power supply issue, wouldn't it literally just cut out? It doesn't. It like freezes, and I can still hear the DVD sounds for a few seconds, like going on normally, as if nothing went wrong. Like I was healing somebody that time where it went on for like a full minute. I was healing somebody, and that full minute, they were still making the groaning sounds. And the generator that was running next to us, that was fully done, was still making the like it was running sound. I think it's because Windows. I don't know. It did just have another update, so I'm like hoping maybe other people were having issues because I don't remember Windows having updates often where it's that close together, where I had to restart because I had an update during the week off, and that was like I don't know, 10-ish days ago when I updated it, and all of a sudden it was crashing, and then here's another thing. Yeah, if Clone Hero crashes it too. Yep. So if it crashes again, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna play Clone Hero for a few hours. Yay. Now we can play. The saddest part of all of it was when I panicked, I spilt over my tea. That was a sad. It wasn't too much tea, but it was a fair amount in there. I was like, God damn it. I verified the game files. Is there something you can do more than that? The game files were fine. God, Buckethead is so good. The most recent, my GPU. You're talking. I don't know about hardware, but you're talking about NVIDIA, right? Other than that, what do you mean update my GPU? Because maybe I don't know. Because I usually update Windows and then I use NVIDIA to. But I thought the NVIDIA app is what updates my GPU, right? Yeah. So I was trying to. I did update that. I think. This is the most recent was like November, and I was like, I think I had the newest one in November, and that still says it's the most recent one. I was still trying to revert to the old update, but it didn't let me. I was trying to do that before I went live again. But that's when I saw there was a Windows update and it made me restart and everything like that. That's why I was like, hey, maybe that'll fix the issue. Hopefully. But I'm not expecting it to have fixed it.
Let's hit those generators.
But if it crashes, I'm just going to play Clone Hero for as long as my fingers can take it. Because we got to try to see. Oh my god, I was totally hard outplayed. It definitely wasn't auto aim from like 15 meters away on an already high mobility killer. It's definitely like the hardest thing you can do in all Dead by Daylight. Oh my god, they don't respect. I could have thrown that. It's another copy pasta ghoul. I probably thought I was literally camping the pallet. I wasn't even gonna throw it. But Ghoul just gets away with that. If you throw the pallet, he vaults it. After flying across the map for an auto-aim hit just like that. Isn't that so hard and skillful? My god, what an insanely hard killer to play as. There's so many downsides to when you mess up with your power. It's crazy. You have to like cancel it and everything. And you have to wait like almost 2 seconds before you can M1 again. It's nuts. That is so punishing. Especially compared to killers like Unknown. Unknown have it so much easier than Ghoul does. Unknown doesn't get punished at all for messing up with their power. Here comes free hits that they can literally vault for. Is this guy hacking actually? Now that I think about it. Because how did he vault and then still have his 2 dashes? Big goofy turnaround. I could have thrown the pallet on you, bud. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you don't respect anything, huh? Flying spaghetti monster Deontay. Had to make a paid license this easy to play. Just so they could sell a bunch of it. And a $10 cosmetic like this fool fell for. Can't make this killer any harder to play because maybe less people will pay the hard cash for it. Yeah, Huntress doesn't get punished at all. Huntress and Deathslinger and Pyramid Head are so much, like, easier than this killer because they don't get punished for messing up with their power almost at all. This killer has to wait like almost 2 seconds before they can M1 again after flying all the way across the map and getting an auto-aimed hit from 15 meters away. At almost 2 full seconds after also being able to vault any pallet you could throw is just like insanely tough to overcome.
Guess I'm off the hook.
It's why you definitely don't see ghouls almost ever. It's like the least seen killer in the whole game. We should be counting our lucky stars for seeing 2 ghouls in a row. Let's go buy a lottery ticket, because that's what the odds look like, right? What are the odds of getting 2 ghouls in a row? Has anybody else ever seen 2 ghouls in a row? I wouldn't believe you if you told me you have. Because that's just unbelievable and you'd be lying for attention. Yeah, he's literally running full speed. You guys see that? Not even turning the corner. But he didn't take the thing out and aim. He just went right into it. Oh my god, what a fair and balanced killer. It's nuts how hard this killer is to play as. Definitely don't fly all the way across to us to get a free hit, and then fly all the way across to get a free hit on that person over there. That doesn't also immediately include a slowdown that you have to mend yourself before, right? What a punishing killer. When you mess up, you just get punished so hard. I can't see how people even put up with playing as this killer. It's nuts. You have to have like the strongest mentality ever to be able to maneuver your way for those free hits. On the plus side, it hasn't crashed yet. Won't crash during the goal match. I'm happy it doesn't crash if it doesn't. It's crashed in both playlists too, by the way. It's not even like a chaos shuffle thing. I've done chaos shuffle, I've done the other thing. Right? I'm glad they shrunk the maps too. Because Blight and Ghoul just were like pretty much useless without them shrinking the maps. That was beyond necessary. Being honest, or all trash talk aside for a second, how does Ghoul literally get allowed to do that? They vaulted via the thing, right? And then immediately after vaulting, they still could do it twice more before I could make it. I'm like, how? But this is what I mean by punishing, right? Because they only had to recharge one thing, I think. But that's why I started talking trash. I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous. Ghoul can vault and then still lunge twice for a free hit. Before you can make it around one wall. That is dumb as fuck. This is the only killer in the entire game I hate playing against, but this shit is dumb as fuck. Nobody will ever convince me otherwise. All trash talk aside, let me now straight up whine. You know what's funny about the men's? I literally feel like they put the men's in as a thought process of like, well, if you hate playing against Ghoul, you can just run Maid for this. And it's like, so if you don't run this perk, you get extra punished though with the extra slowdown. You know, it's like, okay. Man, I'm really hoping that Windows update really was the issue. This is Giga Chad Ghoul though. All trash talk aside as well. Can't trash talk about how they were playing. They're fucking 12 hooking. Even when gens were getting done. Here's the thing though, you can't, not about the person once again, because the person's playing like Giga Chad, but you can't even tell if Ghoul's hacking or not because of the design. I played against a hacking Ghoul like 2 weeks ago and I couldn't even tell until I went and highlighted it. Like that. Is that hacking? Did you guys see that? That's what I was saying earlier. I was like, I can't tell. Especially with the auto-aimed hit. Like, I literally couldn't tell that it was hacking until I... Yeah, she's gonna have to get it. I heard her walking. Watch her not get it, though. But in the whole match long, I was just sitting there talking trash about Ghoul's design, like always. And then when I went and actually highlighted it, I looked at it, and I was like, wow, like I was actually hacking. Wow, that guy didn't go get it. Oh my god. And that's the thing is, I don't even, obviously this guy's not hacking because he's playing nice, but when you see him go flinging all the way across like that, you're like, I can't even tell anymore. But it got in my head once I saw that hacking goal. Because I literally was just talking trash about how goals designed just like normal. And then when I went back and highlighted it, what I saw was he was coming around the corner. And you know when you're in your power, the things are not like behind you. The things are over your head if you can use your dash thing. He used his dash once. He came to like a rock around here. And I was walking like this, and the killer had the things behind, so it should not have been able to use his dash again. But then it did. It turned the corner, and I was like this. And I even looked like it got hit through the wall anyway, because I saw you at the last second. We've all had that happen. But I wasn't second-guessing it, because we've all had that happen, you know? But then when I looked at it, and same thing, did you see how fast he flung by us? He just, like, would fling that fast across the map and stop right before me. But once again, I was just like, yeah, this is possible, but it was just funny going back and looking at it. I'm like, wait, that guy was actually hacking. And I literally didn't even remotely consider that one time while it was happening. It wasn't until I went and I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, that guy was hacking. That's what I thought. I thought they wouldn't have been able to do the charges either. But I'm like, is it just me? Because then right after, he was not doing the other thing that I said I was seeing. So, like, there's no hacking there at all. And if he vaulted the one time, and it was only his very first thing... Hey, did it work? That won't make it, though. See, isn't it so punishing that Glow has to wait like almost 2 seconds before M winning? Wesker has it so much better. The fact that Wesker can just go flinging all the way off into space. That's the funny thing. I do highlight every game so I could see it. Loop wide as hell, so MFT. 8 hook Kaneki. That was indeed what they did. That's funny. But you know how usually it's the survivors that are subtle cheaters? And like I said, I don't even think that guy was cheating, but the whole game, that's why I was pointing it out. I was like, you can't even tell if a Kaneki's cheating. The first thing I was thinking of where it was in my head was where he vaulted and then got 2 before I turned the corner. But the same thing, if you only used one thing to vault, don't you only have to recharge one thing? So you can get it back pretty fast. And when he went flinging all the way past us, if he was hacking, the second he stopped us, he would have just stopped, you know? At least that's what I feel like. When you see him go flinging that fast, that's what makes it hard to tell if they're actually hacking or not. That one video, I never would have been... I didn't make a video about it, but I highlight every game, or save every game. And when I was saving that one and I looked at it, because I was like, how did I get hit there? Because every now and then I am curious. And I'm just like, what could I have done differently? And I like looked at that when I got hit through the wall, because we've all gotten hit through the wall because I'm there and they saw you before you went behind the wall. But on our end, we were behind the wall, obviously. But yeah, he used one dash, then was running full speed around the corner, and then immediately hit me the second he turned the corner. But it was so subtle. Same with survivors. Survivors, when they're cheating, are subtle too. They'll get like 2% haste and random shit like this. Or the teeniest little speed ups right when you turn the corner. It's like if they're running Shack, like when they turn the corner and go in and you think you're going to hit them, and that time before you turn the corner and can see them, they sped up a little bit, so you see them and then you're still too far. Oh, Spirit is perfect for subtle cheating. Yeah, good point. Because it could be like, oh, they just have those 2 add-ons. What is it? Mother Daughter Ring and Cherry Blossom. Hoping it doesn't crash. It's the other thing too, because I'm definitely now actually saving up for a new PC. But that's the sad thing, is it doesn't feel like there's anything wrong. It just feels like there's a problem that hasn't been identified yet. If it crashes again and we play Clone Hero and nothing's going wrong, then that was it. If it doesn't ever crash again, I'm just going to assume it was that last Windows update that just updated. Or the new update just got me away from. And there's still other things I can try. Yeah, it was interesting. Always love a good mystery. The one I just watched was kind of like a mystery. Yeah. Oh yeah, I have the word viewers out loud, obviously. I have the word viewers held up by Automod because it gets rid of like most spam bots. It was funny because I couldn't remember exactly why I had viewers banned, the word, because I had it banned for years, and then like a month ago, that's when I realized why. No, this was like 2 months ago at this point. Time fucking flying the older you get. Holy shit. Man, that movie Amelie was so good. They said that at one point in that movie. He was like, when you're a kid, time just drags by like you just want it to go by faster. And when you're an adult, like all of a sudden you're blinking, suddenly you're 50. That's what he says in that movie. And I was like, holy shit, yeah. 2020 feels like a blink ago. And it's like, oh my god, we're closer to 2030 than 2020. Finally. I feel like I've had that challenge for like days. But yeah, so for a while, I couldn't remember why I had the word viewers banned. I was like, well, I usually just count people who are viewers, because everybody here is friends and fam. I was like, the people I counted as viewers are somebody that got banned. Because I don't ban lightly. I love trash talk. Trash talk's hilarious. I even let people cross lines if they're talking to me. Because in my head, I'm like, this fool's embarrassing the fuck out of himself over a video game. Like, if they're like personally trying to insult you in every way possible. If they say anything like that to anybody else in chat, they get banned fast and they can fucking blink. But like, if they're trying to call me ugly and like shit like that, like, I think that's funny over a video game. But that's why I said why I think it's funny. You think it's funny, so you think it's okay to go no, that's why I think it's funny, and that someone's like crossing all types of lines over a video game. So I just kind of let them go as long as they want to, as long as it's directed towards me. I mean, obviously there's things you ban over, like if they're gonna get racist and shit like that, then that's obviously they're gonna get banned faster than they can fucking blink, you know? But you know what I mean, like, I always just think like the personal insults, if somebody lets them go themselves go that far over a video game, and it's just directed at me, I think it's funny. But I do have a video about trash talk and why I said that's not okay in trash talk. I'm not trash talking. That's not trash talk. Trash talk is like about the video game. Like, it doesn't mean anything. That's why I call it trash talk, you know? And I think if you type exclamation trash talk, also what's up, Shmiko? But if you type exclamation trash talk, it brings up that trash talk video, but not just that. It brings up the part of the video where I'm like in the middle of talking about it's no fun talking trash if somebody's getting stomped on or losing. I was like, it's more fun to talk trash when you're getting stomped on. I was like, so I think it cuts to the part of the video where I'm literally like, if I'm talking trash, they're doing something right. They're probably winning the game, probably handily, you know? I think it takes them right to that part. Yeah, that part right there, Shmiko. Because that video has like has a clip from Rasheed Wallace. Because they're asking Rasheed, they're like, we know you always hear you're one of the biggest trash talkers, but everyone loves Sheed. Like, I had another clip of him talking trash, and the guy next to him is laughing. The guy from the other team is the one laughing. But everyone loves Sheed. That's the thing. Like, he never made anybody mad, except refs. He made refs really mad. But they were asking him about it. They were like, "What's like, what do you consider trash talk?" He's like, "You know, when you're playing on the road and you're sitting on the bench, and there's the home crowd. You know, he's like they're in your ear and you don't want to hear it. And he's like, you know, that's what I like to do out in there in the court. And it gets me and my teammates into it. You know." And they're like, "Well, no, it's just small talk, but is there like any line you don't want to cross?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm not like talking about like their mom, wife, kids, like nothing like that. Like, I'm just talking about the game and, you know, like defense." He's like, "So there's a line. I'm not trying to cross that line." So we call it the Rasheed Wallace principle when it comes to trash talk. As long as it stays related to the game, who gives a shit? Oh, dude, I suck. Damn it, dude. I'm the fucking worst. When will I ever get better at body blocking? Worst DVD player ever. That's not even trash talk. That's just straight up truth if we're talking about body blocking. It sucks. I wish it wasn't the truth. But unfortunately, swing here. That's gonna be a compilation one day. The worst body blocker in all of DBD. There's gonna be all my worst clips. I've had some pretty bad ones. It's terrible. But it crashed again, BF. I guess it has been crashing less often, and there was a Windows update, so I'm hoping, not expecting, but hoping that the Windows update is what it needed. Because I was not having any crashing before that last Windows update. That was like 10-ish days ago. And all of a sudden it was crashing like frequently. And I kept like lowering settings on certain things. Like the last thing I did, I updated Windows just now. I tried to revert to the last GPU update, but it wouldn't let me. But what I did is I put my webcam was on 60 frames a second and I lowered it to 30. Like every time something happens, I'm like, well, let me try this, let me try this, let me try this. And the reason I haven't tried everything at once is that would make me like have a panic attack. If I had tried everything I know to possibly try and it was still crashing, it would be like, actually, let me go this way. Just get as far as possible. And here. And greed the pallet. He didn't respect it enough. I don't think I could have thrown that. Maybe I should have tried. I wasn't on death hook, but I was like, if it bought a little more time, maybe I should have tried for the peeps getting unhooked. Oh, good point. Yeah, then you can figure out what fixed it as well. I'm hoping it's that Windows update, because if it was the Windows update, I can put my monitor back to 1440p. Because I lowered it to 1080. There was a lot of things I was doing to save on resources. But I play on 1080 because I have my resolution on lowest. Alright, I'm hoping you saw them. Oh, they're on Death Hook too, though. Fuck. Wonder if I can heal and then go body block, maybe? If they don't go down. Oh, they're asleep. And he has anti-loops, obviously. Ain't no shame in going down. Damn it. I have Urban Invasion. I should have been using that. I need to look at my perks more and Cash Shuffle. Need to go that way. Go open that door. Hey, they took it out. I think I just fucked it up. Get out, get out, get out, get out. What if it's Blood Warden? So if we played like a team there, we weren't on communications, obviously, but if we were on a team, we could have distracted each other. And we could have both gotten out. That's how much communications does. Because once I had it, she could have ran over, and then I could take the first hit, then she immediately steps back on and opens it, and then I can immediately be in position to get out as well. Or she can be there to body block, either or. I always point that shit out because Swifts have no idea how good they have it. And they try to act like killer is sweating. And you're like, yeah, you got all the fucking gens done and got all the heals and got all this shit done already. Because you had 25 perks for free and other shit as well. What if it was the tome? That'd be funny if it was the tome that was making it crash. My whole PC. That actually... It might be a chance that that was it. Now that I think about it. Oh, yeah. I have a lot of guides. I'm making more. I'm just working on a long one. Because I do like 2 or 3 long ones, and then I do a bunch of short ones. And I'm going to do actual short ones. Especially if I need to make money for PC. Then I'm going to be making even shorter ones. Because usually I like making the right videos. Instead of making like a video I know will fit YouTube's algorithm. I know how to make the videos that fit YouTube's algorithm. It's just, I'd rather have longer ones that tell the full story. But then they're like, but then your watch percentage is lower, so we can't push your video as much. And it's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck, though. I said I'll make the ones that I know YouTube, that I know how to make YouTube push when I need money. That was in that one summer when I started making all those shorter videos and I was dealing with the squatter. Like when I made that one video, that was like, I think it's my most viewed video. The one that's like the first loop everybody should learn in DBD. Because you could, if you want to tell the full story, you need a bunch of different chases and little parts, but then it makes the video like half an hour long, right? It was like, nah, we just need 2 chases and break it down like, you know, this and that way. Because the first chase just to show you over and over, and then the second chase where people are like, what do you do if the killer has anti-loop, or what do you do if the killer has bamboozle? And it was like, all right, we're playing against a Nemesis that had both zombies there, and obviously has, well, and Nemesis is the anti-loop, had both zombies there, and had bamboozle. And we were still, I was like, there's still other things you can do about this. But
Stay
you only need to have like 2 total chases, right? But that was a video, and those type of videos I was making that summer because I was dealing with the squatter. Those were videos where I was like, I need to make videos that will YouTube algorithm will push, because you do make money from it, obviously. But then when you're making the long guides, you want to tell the whole story, and it's 10 hours long, right? The algorithm hates that. It's like the average watch time is like half an hour, but that's actually so high. Half an hour average watch time on a video, that is incredibly high. But watch percentage-wise, half an hour in terms of like a 10 or 12 hour long video, like watch percentages suck, so it's like, this isn't worth pushing. But that's the right video, so I want to make the right videos. But if I'm desperate, I need to save it for a new PC. Here comes some shorter videos again. But it is funny, the shorter videos do better, and they're like easier to pay attention to, but the long videos, I just like doing those because they tell the full story. As many chases as I can fit in there. Yeah, what trees we got? Find a good rock somewhere? That one's too big. Ooh, nah. It's too small, I think, because even if you stand in the middle, it just goes to the side and you'll get hit by it. I think I've tried this one before and it didn't work. We look a little fucked. Can't find a good rock for it. Oh, shit. Here we go, right here. Aw. Found like, and it has a pallet too. Could probably use the gen. Uh-oh. David got found again. Same with shorts. There's 8 million shorts I could make. Like if my PC was crashing, because I would still want to stream at least a few times a week, even if I couldn't play DBD. I've just, one of the biggest fun things about playing video games is to hang out with friends. Like, it's funny because I do want to be a full-time content creator. I'm not there yet, obviously, and the best thing I could do would be to make those shorter videos, number one, and number two, specifically, like, sometimes not stream, to edit instead. But it's like, aw. But it's just always appealing to have some fun playing some video games and hang out with friends. Where's that one? Here it is. No, it's not. Where was it? I was trying to find that one pallet. It was like the perfect size. It was over that way, wasn't it? Yeah, it was over there. I gotta remember that. RPD, I have a few videos to make. You know about Scooby-Doo, but do you know about Scooby-Doo's butthole? Oh, David's on Deathhook. Hey, Tree of Power. Hey, I got a lot of this. So I think I could have kicked him there, but this is more fun. Damn it. When do you ever get to play against the twins? And hey, let's try this, you know? David's kind of safe though, right? That's David, I'm assuming, right? I'm hoping so. Yeah, you know about Scooby's butthole. The funny thing is, I don't know how to word that for YouTube, because YouTube doesn't like stuff like that as well. Where you put like butthole in the title. But that's what it is. Scooby's butthole. So you know the Scooby-Doo? Well, that's the thing, is I know I have a fair amount of guides in that playlist. It's like 60 or something, and like half of them are full map guides. But there's one loop on RPD we call Scooby-Doo, because there's two pallets across the hall from each other, and you keep greeting one, run across the hall, greet the other one, run across the hall, greet. So if you set a camera up, it looks like a Scooby-Doo chase. Like, here comes the survivor, and then here comes the killer, and then there goes the survivor, and then there goes the killer, and the survivor runs on the same side and goes across here, and then the killer goes across here, and then comes back and goes across there. You know, like, it would look like a Scooby-Doo chase. So we always call it Scooby-Doo. And there's oh, nice. All right. Yeah, so you know Scooby-Doo. And then that little hole in that corner there, that's what we've been calling Scooby's butthole. Because if you have a big enough head start, you can jump down the hole and not just... Uh-oh. Run, David.
Hope that hook isn't rusted.
I'm gonna run this way, I'm thinking. Yeah, go. Oh, fuck. Oh, there it is. Damn, that would have been the perfect size. No. That's what I meant by we would have been the perfect size. They come back here and get me. All the way in the corner of the map, you're going to lose your gens. This is why you shouldn't just tunnel and think it saves all problems. You walk all the way across here, get your slug. But now on Death Hook, that's the other side thing. And there's literally only one pallet on the entire map that works. Don't killers have it so hard? What a tough time killers have in DBD. Those poor killers. They have such a hard time. Definitely don't have to scour the map with a magnifying glass looking for 1 ounce of counterplay. I hope she keeps hovering, though. They're going to get that other gen done. Well, hopefully. We are indeed in solo queue. I don't see another thing we can use against Victor, though. I literally don't see anything.
Stupid hook.
Everything's too small. Or too large. No, found David. Oh, it's not even about the pallets with Victor. There is one pallet, but it's not even the pallet that's important there. It's that we can't find anything small enough. Everything's too big so he can get a free hit over. Just like that is too big. So there's nothing Ada could do except take a free hit. Ah. I was even thinking if I should run and grab that other gen. Uh-oh. Oh, she saw. That was bad. Better go get that other gen. Yeah, exactly, buddy. Still trying to find that one pallet. Here we go. The only downside is I have no idea where the exit gate is. So I'm never paying attention. Makes it more fun. I always end up running to the only part of the entire map that doesn't have an exit gate. Which looks like it might be the case once again. I always do this though, god damn it. Here's one. Well, luckily we did not suffer the consequences. And then you abandon. That was lucky. I'm extra happy we did not crash. That really would be funny as well if not only is it fixed, but if it wasn't even a Windows update that fixed it, but it was that tome that was crashing my PC, that would be hilarious. But I hope it's fixed, because there's no evidence saying it is fixed yet. Okay, nice. I'm gonna get some weed ready. Smoke some weed after this game. If it does crash, I'm gonna have to play Guitar Hero for as long as I can. And literally as long as I can. Because you need to prove that it's not Dead by Daylight crashing it. Like, alright, let's play Guitar Hero as long as my fingers can take. There's a few tools I can run to check it. What tools? Yeah, type exclamation Discord and go in there. What type of tools are they? Like PC health check? Because I have a PC health check thing, which I thought that's what they'd be doing, but that doesn't seem to be what that PC health check was doing. Yep, I will be smoking after this game. Hey, Ghost Doge. Thanks for the subscription, right? What survivor do you want me to play? I have every survivor in the game, even if it's like a legendary skin. Yeah, just one Opeth song should do it. That's the funny thing is, legitimately, we could probably play 5 Opeth songs and it would take an hour. Play Harlequin Forest, Blackwater Park, Bleak, Ghost of Perdition, and... Alright. Think. No, I'm nowhere near all the tomes. The survivor ones are taking me forever. Wanted to get this. I was gonna do them equally, but the survivor ones took so much longer. I was like, fine, I'll get the survivor ones out of the way, and then do the killer ones. The killer ones are so much easier. Most of the killer ones. There's some killer ones that are harder, but like the killer ones will be like, get a hit with spirit coming out of their power 2 times. Okay. Survivor will be like, escape 3 times as the last survivor, and you're like, oh, that's gonna take me ages. Yeah, find 8 glyphs, cleanse 3 totems, and do 3 gens in 1 match. Exactly. Yes, that's the window I want to incorporate. Running ball. Run! Oh my god. I was literally just hit. I thought he'd go towards the gen. That sucks. I gave him the only area where I would have gotten hit. I could have hugged any of those trees. Now I'm crawling because I'm just assuming she's gonna go down. I'm gonna crawl as far as possible. Yep. That sucks, man. Use the force. You don't see me. Your audio isn't working. Also, echo it. Also, what's up, Foxfree? I need to take some ibuprofen too for my throat. Oh god.
Guess I'm off the hook.
Where are they on the ground? Are they in an unhookable spot? Nice. Oh yeah, I have the Great Skill Check hat on. I might be able to heal myself twice because of that. I think he might be trying to find Toledo. I think he's giga chatting. Might be why he didn't hook the other slug either. Yeah, he is. He's giga chatting. Look at that. This guy's about to win the match. Here's what I mean by how hard you have to throw, basically, to get everybody hooked once. And that's why I consider that a win, if you get everybody hooked once. Or, if I'm not saying Toledo is hiding, because we obviously don't know. But we all have those matches where somebody's hiding and kind of fucking over the team. And if you're trying to play nice and you have, like, everybody else on deathhook, basically, so I consider if you have 5 hooks and you're playing nice, you already won the game, even if you didn't get everybody hooked once. But look at like this. This is exactly why I think 5 hooks. This guy to go so far out of his way to find Toledo. And then what happens if Toledo just like chucks every pallet? You know? Toledo earned his heart somehow. Hey, he's like, no, I gotcha. What does the new stiff dick do? I guess it's not the stiff dick anymore, is it? That's what I always called it, the stiff dick. Oh, that's the syringe that takes away exhaustion, I thought. 15% when self-healing. Yeah, that's pretty garbage. Yeah, the new syringe just makes it so if you want to be a rat, you can be a bigger rat. Yeah, medkits are just good in general. They're probably the best item, but usually when I'm dodging, when I'm playing killer, is more toolboxes. Medkit's like, alright, well, you'll heal yourself or whatever, heal somebody else, but I hate the gens flying at the speed of light. And I see, like, sometimes I'm in a mood where I even see two toolboxes and I'll dodge it. 3 or more toolboxes, I'm always dodging that shit. I mean, the thing is like, that's obviously why you can't have it be. Yeah, he won this game. He got his fourth. He got everybody hooked once. It's for Ravenous, though, right? I'm assuming. I wonder if he's on a challenge of like trying to get every or value off of every perk, or at least to get every perk to activate or something like that. What is going on? Why didn't you go on the other side? I don't know what's going on. Should I have ran in? Probably should have ran in, actually. That was Giga Chat Billy, though. I couldn't write Giga Chad in this thing. All right, I have to pee and smoke some weed. Not at the exact same time, obviously, but we were just talking about the longer videos I have. It's funny because Kill a Whale in this video was like, his videos are really long, or his really long ones that are like 3 hours long, and now mine are like 12. Well, I have one video that's 12 hours long. That's the Ormond complete guide that went over like every possible thing you can do. There's just too much RNG in Ormond. That's why that guide had to be that fucking long. The Nostromo guide's 10 hours long, though, to be fair. Toba's 10? I thought Toba was like 8 or something like that. I know Nostromo's 10. But I'm working on Nurse one right now, and I have 7 hours worth of clips of just Nurse matches. Like, I have all the Nurse matches edited down to just Chase only, and it's 7 hours long. So I want to do like a walkthrough, and then I'm probably going to do this on like Thursday. I was thinking about doing it on Thursday at least. And I always do like the longer walkthroughs live on stream. Because, like, fuck it. And if I have all my notes and stuff ready, then I'll just do it live on Thursday. But that one, because all the pathing guides don't really help against Nurse, obviously, because Nurse can blink through shit. But Nurse is my favorite kill to play against, actually, because, like, you look everywhere and it's counterplay. Like, literally everything you can look at can be used against Nurse, and that's what's awesome. It's not like that against any other killer. So, like, every other killer, if there's no pallet and there's no window, you're in a dead zone, you're going to get hit, right? That's not true against Nurse. Against Nurse, if you have a rock or a tree or something, it forces Nurse to have to blink because she cannot M1 you. She has to blink to the right side of the rock, and if you keep predicting her correctly or she keeps messing her blink up, she's not going to get you. Now, obviously, you're not going to run Nurses forever either, so she's going to get you eventually in those areas, but it'll literally take her longer to get you in those dead zones compared to other killers in the game, and she still is one of the strongest in the game. That's why I think, personally, and I know it's probably a hot take, but I think she's the most balanced killer in the entire game for that reason, specifically, because it doesn't matter with pallets and windows, and it's just like, hey, I can actually use this out, like, we call it edging the Nurse, but when you get, like, all that random shit, like, with Z-walls and whatnot on the outer part of the map, you don't really want to run out there if you're against any other killer, because, like, unless it's a Z-wall, you got nothing, but it really works against Nurse, and you can just keep running her around here, because she has to blink to the right side, so you can literally just keep running, like, the edge border of the map, and it really messes with Nurse's blink, because she can't blink past the map, so it's, like, extra sensitive on the edge of the map like that, but not glitched either. That's the thing. That's why it doesn't feel like unfair of doing anything like that either. But that's what I'm working on right now, at least. And that one will probably be ready in like a month-ish, I want to say. But because that's edited down, I can start doing some single tile videos. The next one's not going to be a single tile video. It's probably going to be like an hour-ish long, too. It's going to be called How to Be a Cool Survivor. Or the cool survivor thing a survivor can do. I can't decide which one to call it, one or the other. But it's about, like, if you're playing against a killer that's going for, like, a really hard type of down. Like, specifically Curved Billies. I have other ones like Houndmaster, Wesker, Blight, Pyramid Head, and there was, like, one more so far, just editing it down right now, where they're going for, like, a cool hit or something like that. So you don't leave the tile, you don't throw the pallet, and you try as hard as you can. Because you don't want to hand it to them. You want them to earn it, right? And even then, like, for Curved Billy specifically, if you messed up, right, or you did just mess up, and they curve you because of that, they still don't know how to actually curve that tile yet. You know what I mean? Because you gave it to them instead of them actually doing that, like outplaying you. But that's the fun thing is, like, say you were right here. Oops, sorry. Say you were like right here on this little thing here, and Billy was trying to curve it, and you saw Billy trying to curve it. You would just stay right here, and you'd loop as hard as possible. Like, you'd try as hard as possible. You don't want to hand it to him, but you don't throw the pallet, and you don't leave the tile when he like misses a curve or bonks or something like that. You know, you stay here, but you have to try as hard as possible until he curves you. You know, and it's a lot of fun. Like, every time this has happened, like, I was probably more hyped than the killer was, because it's like, and I saw some shit I didn't even know was possible with Billy on one of them. And one of the times I was playing Billy, I ran into a survivor that did the same thing. And it was like, oh, this fucking survivor is amazing. And I got so much better in just that, like, 1 minute of that survivor sitting there, because it was this survivor and one other survivor left, and they were both on death hook, and this survivor wasn't throwing the pallet, and it helped so much, and I was just so thankful. But that's why I was like, that's what you can do. But same with Wesker doing hug tech shit like that. So I have other examples too, but that's going to be what it is, because there's not many ways to play like cool as survivor, because killer, there's no other teammates that you'd potentially be fucking over. Unfortunately, killers get expected to play like cool or nice, really, which is, you know, but on Survivor, like if you try to be nice to the killer, what are you gonna do? Search chests and look for dull totems, but you're gonna fuck your teammates over and they're gonna get killed. You know what I mean? Like that's why it's like, how do you be nice to the killer? I have another video where you're giving hatch to the killer when you beat the killer to hatch and you run past it and let them decide if you get it or not. But this is the one that's more useful. I haven't made this video yet, but this is a killer whale video actually.
I've ever seen, and it's
Oh yeah, he called me the most greedy survivor he's ever seen. This is funny. So I obviously want to be a full-time content creator. If I ever get there, I think Kill a Whale was the reason why, really. There's a bunch of people. So like Kill a Whale made this video where I have it's talking about, he told me he was gonna make a video. I thought it was gonna be like a shout out or something. This was an entire video about you know, about the videos. And I had like 2,000 subscribers here. After he made this video, within like a month I was up to like 5,000. Like 6,000 maybe. And then, and same thing, I don't know if Odds Darva would have ever found who I was if it wasn't for that, because then Odds Darva made a video where he gave a shout out, and all of a sudden I went from 6,000 to like 20,000 people. Then Sky Faction made a video that was called The Heroes of DBD, and I met like another 5,000 people like right away, because he put me like the #1 hero of DBD. And then Absolve Live made a video called like The Savior of DBD or something like that, and same thing, I was just meeting tons of people. So I give all these people credit, obviously, for like helping, like immensely. Hey, what's up, Big Bet? Perfect time. We were just about to go. I was about to go smoke, but we're about to play his Kill a Whale video. And even though all those people helped like absolutely tremendously, I still kind of think of this Kill a Whale video as being like, if it before this video, before I met a bunch of people from this video, I didn't even have a goal of being a full-time content creator. I'm not there yet, but I didn't even have it being a goal. But then I started meeting enough people. I was like, hey, like maybe I should start working towards this. You know, like trying to be a full-time content creator. And that's basically what I'm doing. But now that, since I'm not yet and don't have to worry about my videos to pay the rent, right? That's why I said I make the right videos right now instead of like making the short ones I know fit the algorithm, because I know how to do that too. But I'd rather make the right ones while I have the freedom to, if that makes sense. Yeah, Loop Skywalker. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. That was from Zerkarak. Thank you for that nickname. That shit was hilarious. But this was Kill a Whale's video about the looping guides I have. I'm about to go smoke a little bit of weed right here. Smoke it if you got it, and if you don't get into it, I suppose, because I'm not, no peer pressure whatsoever. Funny thing is, they always talked about weed with peer pressure, like, you're not cool because you don't smoke with us. Me personally, this is my experience, but every stoner I've ever been around, if you were like, I don't smoke, it's like, oh, thank God. And why are you like, oh, thank God? Because you're like, we barely have enough weed in this bowl for me. But you know what I mean? I was like, and now if I have, and I'm already sharing this bowl with somebody else, you know what I mean? And now if somebody else is here, you don't want to not be rude. So you're like, do you want to smoke? You know what I mean? Like, but you really hope they say no. And they're like, no, I don't smoke. And you're like, oh, thank fuck. You're like, because we barely had enough in this bowl anyway. You know, like, that's what I mean. I was like, it's not saying that there's not people that you're bad because you don't smoke. Obviously, like people are gonna suck in every single type of way, unfortunately. But that was my experience with weed. Like, I almost never met anybody that was like thought you were uncool because you didn't smoke. Almost every stoner I ever met was like, thank fuck they don't smoke, because then we don't have to share more weed with somebody else that's not going to bring any weed of their own. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Snoop Dogg plays in Half Baked when they're talking about all the different types of stoners there are. And he was like, and then there's the, what does he call? The moocher or something like that. And Snoop, they light it up, and the second they light it up, here comes Snoop, like growing behind them, and he just sits, and he's like, yo, he's like, you know, can I hit that? And they give it to him, and he's just like smoking the whole joint. And he's like, well, you know, we sell this stuff, right? He's like, well, that's a shame. I just stopped smoking yesterday. You know, he smokes like the whole joint, and he's like, and gives it back to them basically. And I'm like, that's no, that was Half Baked, I think. It was Friday or Thursday. No, that's Half Baked, I think. Because John Stewart's one of the people, and John Stewart's the stoner that likes talking about like outer space and aliens and stuff like that. And everything's better on weed. You ever look at the stars on weed, man? Oh my God, it's like crazy. Red team go! Like, he's just like one of those nut stoners. You know what I mean? That movie is hilarious. So, long story short about that movie, the only reason they're even selling weed is their friend goes to the store to get snacks, and there's a horse outside the store, and he's feeding the horse, but it's a police horse. That's a diabetic police horse, and he's feeding it sugar. So the horse passes out and dies, and they throw the guy in prison for killing a cop because the horse was a cop that he fed. I was just trying to feed the horse, you know. So his friends are selling weed to try to post bail for him to get out. That's why, and they're meeting all these different types of stoners that they hadn't met before because they're selling weed. That's why I was like, you know, we sell this shit, right? And he's like, that's a shame. I just stopped smoking yesterday. And even though he just smoked the whole thing, that movie's great. Friday's great too, not gonna lie. But anyways, this is Killer Whale's video about the looping guides.
Popular Survivor content on DBD YouTube is kinda lame. Well, maybe lame is the wrong word. It can be fun to watch, but it's all very similar. Whether you're watching Aaron, JRM, Swee, Sway, Skirms, Namedi, or any other Noob 3 clone, I can almost guarantee it will feature 1 to 2 games, an obviously inexperienced killer, flashy tech gameplay, ADHD editing in the form of constant zooms and sound effects, and a thumbnail purchased from the Survivor Thumbnail Emporium. And this is what it is. I already made fun of all this stuff a long time ago, so I'm not here just to complain. But if you're actually trying to learn something about playing Survivor, most of this content won't help you. It's fun to watch someone 360 a baby killer 4 times in a row, but like, what am I supposed to do with this in my own games? It feels like if I wanted to improve at basketball, but could only study footage from the Harlem Globetrotters. So you say to yourself, let's look for something more educational and search for looping guides and tips. These are definitely better for improving, telling you to hug structures tightly or maybe explaining jungle gym pathing or check spots, but honestly a lot to remember, especially with so many new maps, tiles, and main buildings. Add to that the general stress of chase, the fact that teammates might have already used a pallet, bad tile RNG, bad killer ping, or bad teammates, and sometimes this stuff doesn't even feel helpful at all. Okay, I gained an extra 5 seconds in chase by hugging this loop tightly. Now what? Even after watching a lot of these guides, it still feels like only hours on hours of experience will actually help me improve. And as far as watching competitive DBD or 1v1s to learn Survivor, it might as well be a completely different game. If I pre-dropped this many pallets in solo queue, I would be dead with 3 gens left and get death threats from my team afterward. Meanwhile, searching out killer guides will lead you to a ton of knowledge, gameplay, and tips and tricks for any killer you need. And since being the chaser is a lot more intuitive than being the chasee, it's a lot easier to improve quickly. And I think this is a big part of why most survivors in DBD, including myself, are just straight up kind of bad at the game. So now if you are like me, who doesn't really have the time or the incentive to join a 1v1 ladder or explore map variations with an AFK friend, or practice juke muscle memory, or just accrue the hours needed in public matches to know every loop on every map, you're kinda out of luck when it comes to actually learning Survivor. I used to watch Cope, who posted a lot of non-ADHD edited gameplay of smart looping instead of flashy tricks, as well as being the best survivor in Otta's 1v1s, but they don't make DBD content anymore. There's Fun Goose, who can talk a mile a minute explaining their actions, but they're really more focused on killer lately. There's Steve, who's crazy good in 1v1s and in public lobbies, but unless I'm watching their stream constantly, I'm not going to learn much from here. But I have good news. I've finally found my Dream Survivor YouTube channel, by the name of Mr. TatorHead. Now why is this channel so good? What does it offer? Well, first of all, we got in-depth map explanations. He explains every single loop and main structure and how they can spawn and how to run it every which way for almost every common map. But does it actually work in real games? Absolutely. After each explanation, he shows multiple chases he's had using that exact setup or iterations of it that spawn, which really helps you understand how the loops function when facing multiple different killers. Is he a flashy juke master, doing things I would never bother to practice? Not really, he's got some fakes and tricks, but he makes just as many mistakes. Truly a man of the people. Most of his looping skill is based on game knowledge, and he's willing to share it with you. Pallet pre-dropper? Absolutely not. This is maybe the greediest looper I've ever seen, and it's hilarious. Toxic? Not at all. He laughs it off whenever things don't go his way.
No!
Clickbait builds? Hell no. This Giga Chad hasn't even used a perk since 2020. So when he juices you for 5 gens, you really have no excuses. Except Old Reliable, of course, if the game is broken and unfair. That one always works. And finally, a big point here that most Survivor YouTubers don't do. He's realistic about the game. Chases are meant to be lost eventually. The goal that you should aim for is giving your team as much time as possible, not running the killer for 5 gens like you saw your favorite YouTuber do. Bloodlust, chase perks, killer powers are not unfair free win mechanics, they're part of the game to make sure you eventually go down. I really think if more survivors understood this and stopped looking at the game like a 1v1, we would have a lot less angry endgame chats. Now I know 2-hour map guides aren't for everyone. And I know YouTube rewards fast editing, short form content, and entertainment value over education value, which is why it took me a weird combination of search keywords to finally find this channel. And I get that that content is fun to watch, so please don't feel the need to defend your favorite creator in the comments. But this info right here is so unbelievably helpful and well put together, and has helped me more than any other Survivor guide I've seen since I started this game, that I just had to share it with my audience as well. In Mr. TatorHead's own words.
This is why I want to make map guides, because this shit is easy as hell.
So if this video seems like just a giant advertisement for another channel, that's because it's exactly what it is. If you want to actually learn to get much better at Survivor, and probably Killer too, then please head over and give this channel some love, and share it with your other friends that want more in-depth guides, or that just suck and you need them to be better.
7.
At least watch how to run the main buildings and tiles of maps you struggle at, like Larry's or RPD, since he breaks down everything into YouTube chapters for you to easily skim around. And if you're not going to do any of that, you can at least appreciate this man's tap dancing right now.
Woo! Yeah, I used to tap dance on stream. Oh yeah. I used to be pretty good, and then I hurt my foot. Wait, you want to see that thing right there? Did I make this thing? I don't know if I did. That was a guy named Kill a Whale. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even have a goal of being a full-time content creator. I'm not there yet, and I did that. Like, I was talking about that right before I went to smoke, but then I started meeting a bunch of people, and I was like, huh. And I'm working towards it now, whereas before I was just like, Whereas now I feel bad when I'm like, I could have edited for an hour, and I sat there on YouTube instead. Especially, like, if I wake up early, because sometimes I can squeeze in some editing before work. And sometimes I'm just lazy, and I'm like, man, I could have edited for that hour. Or, like, sitting in bed, you know. Oh, I forgot the ibuprofen. I need to go get the ibuprofen after this. I knew I was forgetting something. I'm like, what was I forgetting? My throat. Got the blueberries. Oh, I guess the tap doesn't show up on... That's the command I need to make on YouTube. Where's the YouTube video anyway? That's the funny thing about that tap YouTube video, though. Also, what's up, Tifleret? Sorry, I missed that. But that tap video, if all you do is watch the beginning, that's just some easy shit. It gets harder the longer that dance goes on. There's some really genuinely difficult tap in there. Because, like, Broadway tap is pretty easy. What I was doing there, it was not Broadway tap. That's called rhythm tap. Or hoofin. Just attracts anyone that's interested in that, I suppose. If someone finds tap dancing attractive, then yeah. And definitely are people like that, but that's like that with anything. And you'll find being good at any sport is attractive, or even being good at a video game. Do I have deja vu? I always get carried by this perk. Theater kids? I know a lot of theater kids. Some of them are famous now. Anthony Ramos, Sky Lakota Lynch, Jeremy Pope, Maria Briggs. Some theater kids I know, well, she's not just a theater. She is a theater kid, but she started off as a dancer. It's funny being just a dancer. But Ariana DeBose was probably the coolest regular I had. Because I knew how to make a penicillin, and we had the ginger juice for it. Because remember how I said I worked at restaurants that was also a bar? Like Friedman's, that's where that was at as well. So they had ginger juice. Oh, damn. Thirst comments, yep. There's got to be a thing in here. There was not. Yeah, tap scared everybody away at the dance conventions. Like, all the other classes would be super full, and then the tap class would come up, and it'd just, like, empty out. It was really funny. Hey, here's the thing. The reason tap, everybody was scared from tap, is because they cheated pullbacks. Because I was scared of tap, too, at first. But I was picking up other stuff. It was just once we got to pullbacks. Because I couldn't do pullbacks right because I was being taught wrong, if that makes sense. Not on purpose, but pullbacks, you're supposed to jump in the air and then, like, it's like 2 backward slap steps as like a shuffle, but the back part of a shuffle, like slap step, basically. And you jump in the air, and the thing is you're always thinking about going back, especially because they're called pullbacks, right? So what everybody does is they put their heels up like this, and then they jump back, which means you can do one pullback cleanly, but now what do you do? Because your heel's up and you can't, like, cheat and go down, you know? Everyone thinks it's wings. Everyone thinks it's wings that is what broke them and they couldn't do anything more, but they can't do wings because of pullbacks. Hey, Laurentia. Ooh, what survivor do you want me to play? I might owe some other people's survivors too. Also, holy fucking shit, 18 fucking months already. Holy fucking shit. Nick Cage, let's go. I actually want to make a video about that on the tap that I was just talking about. The reason everyone's scared of tap dance. Or dancers are scared of tap dance, I should say. It's not wings, because everybody always is scared of wings. Wings is not the problem. It's because you couldn't do pullbacks right. Because that was the same thing. I thought wings were scary. And that's why I didn't want to get into it. Aw, where's my pen? My Reddit pen. It's on here somewhere. On my desk somewhere. Taught me tap. And she passed away a few years ago, and I was like, I have her pen here somewhere. She was still teaching tap, and still teaching. She was like 90-something years old. But when you do pullbacks, there's 2 things about them. Number 1, you have to go up. You jump up instead of backwards. You jump upwards. That's the most important thing. But the best part about that is you can practice it sitting down. That's actually the most important technique, is sitting down. You double back. I don't think you double backed enough. Damn it. Fuck. That is damn. Oh shit, basement. No, dude, I'm the worst. I wasn't gonna make the window either. Alright, they should just leave me and go in the basement. Hey, holy shit. Shit, I can't even hit a skill check. Mad Driver, dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. What survivor you want me to play? I gotta play Nick Cage first. Hoping that my game doesn't crash. If my game crashes, then I have like a 15-minute cooldown and I'll just have to play Guitar Hero for as long as I can. That was an epic run, though. We won a ton of 50-50s. That was lucky timing. Sorry, I had to be quiet for a sec. So the best way to practice actually tap in general, like your technique to get those loose ankles I keep talking about, is literally practicing pullback sitting down. And then you can do wings sitting down, because you can't cheat it if you're sitting down. And it makes it easy, because like when, I was at school, I was a kid obviously, so I got good at pullbacks in like a week, because I realized I could sit there and like do them under my desk. And I was like, oh my god, this is actually how you practice them. So if you're just like sitting down, like I'm sitting here doing them right now. Like just, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can try to make them as tight as possible. So you basically make the two sounds as close together as possible, or you try to make them as loose as you want. So da 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 da, or da da you know? Like, that's the technique. And when you're sitting down, you can't cheat it like you can when you're standing up. But people always do pullbacks with their heels like this. Sorry, their heels like this, and then they slap, slap, heel, heel. But they can't do another one, right? Whereas pullbacks, you should be able to do just like that. Da-da-da, da-da-da. You can do forward, back, side, side. You know what I mean? That's how pullbacks work. But the reason everyone thinks wings are impossible, because wings aren't hard. If you can do pullbacks right. Pullbacks are the one that fucks everybody over, but then they can cheat pullbacks, so they don't think pullbacks a problem. And then they get to wings, and they're like, wings are impossible, or super hard. It's like, wings are not actually that hard. I thought they were hard too until this, you know? But that is the real. And then when you do wings, since you're already doing pullbacks, like whatever you want, then it's like, oh, so it's just basically like pullbacks going outwards, like, da 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 da. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Get some ibuprofen. Oh, fuck. I was supposed to play Nick Cage. Yep. Also, The Thing is super good. You know, The Thing basically ruined John Carpenter's career? It sucks, but when The Thing first came out, everyone hated it. Like, critics specifically, they were like, that's way too grotesque for no reason and has no, like, intelligence to it whatsoever. And it's like... So he's actually really bitter that years later it's looked at as like a masterpiece. From what I understand. Because studios wouldn't like hire him after that to direct movies. You love Nick Cage. But also, Simon, open lobbies are Wednesdays and Fridays. I was gonna go down to just Wednesdays, but there's a few things I like wanted, like the tomes, I think. I was like, I think there's still things I want to do before starting to play more killer. Survivor tomes just take so much longer. You literally have a tome that takes days by itself. Without like throwing the match for it. That's why I get a lot more Survivor tomes done in the 2v8, because you'll have like, the 2v8's like the most Survivor-sided playlist in the whole thing. There's a lot of times, and the queues are instant, and there's a lot of times where you'll get like 6 gens are done, and there's only like 2 or 3 hooks, and you're like, alright, I can walk around the map and look for my glyphs, you know, get them all done in one game. Hey, he has Hunter's Lullaby. Hey, what's up, JRD? Everybody go follow JRD. JRD is awesome, peeps. Streams DBD, other things too, but DBD as well. You know the sponsor I want one day? My friend's been grown butt already, but it would have to get federally legalized. But could you imagine, right, if it was federally legalized and you imagine it'd be like, hey, you guys, so they sent me some weed to try out, you know, and you like pull a nug out. Smells delicious, smells like Starburst. You're like, I'm gonna go give it a try and let you guys know like how I just went and smoked. You come back just like this. Woo! It's pretty good. Use code Tater and get 15% off 8s and up. Or like some shit. That would be the dream sponsor. That's my hybrid. That was perfect triangle weed. I think all 3 of mine are hybrid right now, but one's a indica dominant hybrid, one's a hybrid, or 50-50 hybrid, and one's a sativa dominant hybrid. Dominant. Is there others out there? I see. Here we're gonna go for a CJ.
You ain't gonna die. Not on my watch.
Oh, they're on communications. Well, he chases me off. Yeah. Did I leave enough to be able to self-heal? I got that one iridescent add-on, so I'm hoping. Yep. Yeah, I bought 10 fucking ounces. It's the most weed I've ever had. But that was because they were going to raise the taxes a lot. Because Michigan's prices were so ridiculous that there was just like tons of other states buying stuff from Michigan and coming through. So Michigan's was trying to capitalize on that, I think, because of course everyone was pissed about it. But there was already an extra 10%, right? So Michigan sales tax is 6%. Then there was already an extra 10% that was just like the weed tax. And then they are adding an additional 24% on top of that. So you would be 40%. Yeah, I went for you, Spiral. Oh my god, somebody got her. Ridiculously low, yes. Look at like these nugs. Right? And that shit was like, what was this? $70 an ounce? Which was like a little bit fancier than I even normally get, but I was like, hey, I'm gonna get this now before it gets more expensive. Times like this, I'm like, don't crash. Please don't crash. That's the thing, that's why, and that's like nowhere near the highest tier or the lowest tier weed. You can get $15 ounces. 15. Not even just that, you can get, like, if you think, well, that's shake. No, I've seen $8 ounces of shake. You can get more expensive shake, too. You know what I mean? I'm just like, this is why Michigan was selling so much, especially across state lines. There's another gen to get done. Aha. Go save it the last second. Somebody's there. Oh yeah, Michigan's still a lot cheaper. Yep. But that's still why I bought 10 ounces. So that was the other weed. That was my indica. I feel like indica's always darker looking than sativa. And this is my sativa. And once again, $70. Yeah. I weigh out a gram every day, and usually that gets me. I don't have to grind any weed on Saturday. I have to grind some weed on Sunday, but that's my old weed. That's what I was saying. We gotta heal. We're gonna do anything. Oh god, here comes body blocking. He's gonna keep her zoned out though. We're probably gonna have to leave and hope she gets hatch. Yeah, I'm the worst fucking body blocker in the world. It's pathetic. Alright, thank fuck. At least it didn't come down to it. Oh my god. Leave him alone. What? said GG, well played.
What is this place?
It was. He's on controller. $8 shake was there for me when I needed it most. Yep. I'm in the phase in life too where I'm still trying to smoke less and less as much as I can. So mentally, when I get 10 ounces, I'm prepared for that to last 8 months. Realistically, it's probably going to last like, it might even last a whole year. Yeah, $70 for these ounces. You can get nicer ounces or cheaper ounces. This was actually middle lower end, I'd say. That's the funny thing though, is like some of the stuff would have passed for chronic though. Like this shit. I mean, all of them really, but for like $70, like I was paying like $200 for a half ounce of that on this before it was legal in New York City. Of that quality, I'd say. I got arrested for smoking weed before it was legal. Now it feels like I got arrested for stealing a balloon on Free Balloon Day. That was a fun night. I was drunk. We were supposed to go to Central Park. I was just drunk. I mean, we were all drunk. We were at a bar where they had beer pong, and the winner stays, but you can't play more than 3 games. But there's like the next people waiting for the games. Whoever wins, you play who is there. And we won all 3 games. We had a crazy comeback on that last one, too. Where he got rollbacks twice and then double cashed the final cup so they didn't even get a chance to throw. That was nuts. Oh my god. But then so we were going and we were drunk, so we were gonna go to Central Park, but I was like, nah, who gives a fuck? Let's just light it up here, man. No one gives a shit. This is New York City. We were on like 4th Street. And yep, apparently they did give a shit. I just remember all of a sudden like, don't move, and I just like see like an unmarked like white van that looks like a typical like serial killer van. And they all jump out, and I just like look out on the street, try to find a spot to throw it. I found a grate. I threw it on the grate too, and they're like, they pushed me against the wall, so I was just like, they're like, you had something, like where did you do with it? And, you know, I'm not saying anything because I've always heard, literally, whenever dealing with cops, I've always heard that if you're guilty, don't say anything, and if you're innocent, definitely don't say anything. That's what I've always heard. So I was just sitting there, and then all of a sudden I hear another cop be like, oh, I got it. It didn't fall through. And I'm like, no. So they put me in, and I was in jail for a few hours. There's a few other people in there, but I was pretty drunk, so I pretty much just laid down on the bench thing. So there was like you don't have like your own cell or anything like that. You're just in for a few hours waiting to get processed. My friend walked in there. In the precinct, like, I got bail. He was like trying to bail me out, and they're like, no, you idiot, he's gonna be out in like a few hours. It was funny because I couldn't go to the bathroom in there, obviously. And then we get out, and we're like, let's just go home, man, fuck it, you know. The cop actually told me because he gave me a cigarette too. I was like, my friend had a cigarette. I didn't know where he was. I was like, I have cigarettes. He actually did give me one. The cops let me out. And then the other cop looked me in the face. He's like, what are you doing here, man? He was like, you can't be smoking that out in the street. And he was like, we have to do our job. He was like, if you're in your apartment, he was like, we can't come after you for something like weed because it's a misdemeanor. Like, it was a misdemeanor at the time, at least. So it was not a felony or anything like that. And he was like, we're not coming in your apartment to come after it. He was like, but if you're out here smoking weed on the street, we got to do our job. He was like, especially when somebody called. He was like, that's a nice party town area for like college age students. They're like, but rich people lived in the village. And I was like I wasn't thinking about it like that. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So I was thinking like someone was like, I smell marijuana. But we were, you know, we got through like the whole joint though, because I remember seeing the weight of the weed that I was in possession of was like 0.08 of a gram or something. I was like, yeah, I knew he smoked it all, basically. But then the even worse part was we almost got arrested later on that night because I hadn't gone pee the whole. Oh my god, I was scared it was gonna crash. See, it might have crashed there. That's why I'm like, So I really had to go, but I was gonna hold it till we got home. I was like, nah, I don't want to go to anywhere else. And then I was like, I just want to go home. And we were like, all right. So we get on the subway. And I lived on by the George Washington Bridge in Washington Heights. Lived on 171 in Fort Wash. And the subway stop was 168 on the A and the C, well, ACE line technically, but the A and the C was the more useful, especially where I would be going from Midtown and back up to the Heights. And it was still express hours, and so it's supposed to be going. The C is the local version, but the A is express, and the A goes from 59th to 125th, which is Harlem. 59th is Columbus Circle, right at the beginning of Central Park. And then it goes from there to 125th Harlem. And after that, the express goes from 125th to 145 and then 168. But if you're on local, it goes from like 59 to, 66 to 72nd to 81st to 86 to, you know what I mean? Like all these extra stops, you know? Damn, I get in that hard tunnel. Damn it. This is why I think if the killer gets even 4 hooks when they're going out of their way to get everybody hooked once, I put more value on it than just hard tunnel 4K. I even think 5 hooks is already immediately more impressive than hard tunnel 4K. It's a hot take, but I believe it. Because we're not on communications. Oh yeah, so there was a problem on the A train, and it stopped us at 96, so we had to get out, and there was a big delay. So we're waiting. We had to cross to the. We were waiting on the A train anyway, but we had to cross to the C train specifically, and the C train was delayed, so it was going to be like half an hour wait for the train, and I was still sitting there trying to hold my pee, and I was like, "Fuck it, man!" But my friend was new to New York City, so he didn't realize that. The subway stops, not all of them are just these trains. Some of them are like staggered. So like this one goes up to here and then this one starts here and goes up to here. So it's staggered like this way. So when we went past the area where the platform was, where it goes into the tunnel, I was facing the way where there is no, where they can't see, but he was facing the way where there's a platform where we went to pee. And there was officers on that other platform. So me and Anthony walk away from that, and we're just like, all right, like everything's good now. I finally got to pee. That's all I was waiting on. And also we hear, hey, can we speak with you gentlemen for a second? And it was just like, and they were like, tell us what happened back there. And I was just like, I already got arrested tonight. I was in jail for a few hours. We never got to pee because we were already drunk from drinking a bunch of beer at the beer pong place. And I still didn't have to pee. We were on the A train. We were trying to get to 168, and then there was a stupid slow down, so we had to get off here, and then there was an even bigger delay on the C train, so we had to wait for like half an hour, and I still had to pee, so I went pee. I was like, I'm sorry, and they were like, they thought I was lying, so they were like, you got arrested already tonight, huh? Let's see your papers, your discharge papers they give you. And I'm like, here they are, and I like pulled them out. They didn't believe me until I pulled that out. Like, they weren't like harassed, but you could see that they were like, huh, you already got arrested, huh? Like, next excuse, let's see your papers. And they're like, oh. And they're like, let's see. And they saw where I was arrested in the village. They're like, in the village? They're like, you're lucky to be out. You could have been there all night for processing because, like, it's a busy area. And like I said, there was only like 3 people in the thing when I got it put in there. And he was pretty right. Like, that could have been an area where there was just like 20 people, you know what I mean? So I could have been there for like 8 hours waiting to get processed or some shit like that. But yeah, then they thought it was funny. They're like, okay, well, now we know why it was happening. But then they're like, you guys can go. But then they looked at my friend. They're like, what were you doing, man? They're like, everybody on the side, nice throw. Everybody on that side platform can see where you're doing or where you're going. Everybody can see, but he didn't know that they were like staggered so that they could see across from it. Then we got home and smoked some more. Yes. No, don't jump. Unless they have DS. Here's our Proxima. Yummy, the Besu Bitch Tunnel. This is why I put way more value. That killer even gets like 5 hooks. Is like 10 times more impressive than any type of 4K playing like this. This is just, I don't want to improve, I just want easy win. See, we can't even, if we're on communications, we shouldn't be unhooking yet. DBD is the easiest game to, that's a cool thing about DBD. It can be whatever you want it to be. It can be the easiest game possible to get wins in. That's why you get people with like thousands of wins in a row. Not because they're not good either, those amazing players, but other games aren't like that because it's harder to win. You get more balanced matchups, you know? Plus, like, RNG affects everything. I always joke about that, too. Like, I don't ever get why survivors always want to be like, I'm the best survivor and shit like this. Because RNG has such a thing with it, right? Even if you look at a tournament, like when people do 1v1 tournaments, you're like, damn, that guy got Royal Flush 5 games in a row. That guy must be a great player. And somebody else just gets, like, awful RNG. And you're like, that guy's trash. That guy only got LT walls back-to-back. That guy is absolute trash. And you get 2 loops out of it, and then juke the... Oh, we can't. Haha, let's go. Does it go back this way? You gonna get 2 loops out of it this time? No, I don't think we do. Damn. I wanted to try to call his bluff all the way to that pallet, and then hit him with a crouch juke. It is a party game. I'm 100% on that. That's why I was talking about survivors. They always want to make it seem hard. But I feel like survivors want to make survivors seem hard so it makes themselves look better. Like, come on. But the problem is, then it's hard to get people to actually try. I would try to get people that played Halo. We were sweating for 50s. They were 50s in Halo. And they didn't want to try DBD because it's too sweaty and Survivor's too hard and going to take too long to get good. And it's just like... Unfortunately, it does take a while to get good, but that's what I'm making the guides for. Because we all learn by ourselves through our own trial and error. You know what I mean? Then... that's why it takes like all these thousands of hours people say to get good, but it should not take anywhere near that good. I also think it would tremendously help people get better if we could just, you know how like in Halo, you could just load up a map by yourself, no bots or anything, you could just explore the map. I think that would help tremendously. Because all you can do is by yourself is on killer, and it's until the survivors do the gens, you know? That kind of sucks. Hey, wait, actually, need to go back to Arella. Frick. This.
This is taking screams in the dark to a whole
Alright,
nother
I got like
level.
at least 2 more games. At least. Slowly getting through these tomes. I'm doing these on almost all these are survivor tomes that were done. I'm doing the brainless ones first, and then I can do the perk ones where it's like, do this while using this perk. I'm like, all right, that's what I'll do after. What I'm setting up is like this right here. When survivor queue time's a little bit longer, this is when I'd be switching to killer. So, and when I'd go down to just open lobbies on Wednesdays, then like maybe Monday I'd play survivor the whole time, but then like Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday I would do survivor in the first part and then killer in the second part. Because Jumpsuit Jake is I smoke and play jump right after I smoke and then I start to stream. I play Jumpsuit Jake, so I'm always like warming up and stoned. And wait, what's Snake stuff? I remember what we were saying. Excuse me. Excuse me, I got the hiccups.
Let's avoid the hooks and hit those generators.
Anchor perk. Nice. That is what I would like to run. Which killer will it be? Ooh, Vecna. Aw, but the half step up will make it so we can't duck underneath the skulls, I'm pretty sure. Vecna is not my favorite killer to play against. I don't hate playing against Vecna, but it just ruins a lot of tiles like that. Where you're like, oh, teeny little raise in elevation means I can't duck the skulls, it gets free hit. Also, thanks for 5 bits, mate. I appreciate it. Hand-eye coordination. Oh, it's an achievement, right? Survivor achievement or Vecna achievement? Had to be a Survivor one, because else you wouldn't be desperate for a Vecna. I watched A French Connection today. That was a great movie. I've always heard about that car chase. It was different than I thought. I thought it was going to be a car chasing a car. It was not. That was incredible. And it was like... oh my god, that was awesome. That was another movie where the bad guy got away, though. I like movies like that. It seems like that's life, you know? Like, I immediately have adopted that... Because I watched Chinatown the other day. And immediately I've already adopted that whole, like... Forget it, Jake, it's Chinatown. It's like, oh my god. That movie was incredible, too. But, like... I don't know how I had never heard of that villain. He's up there with, like, Darth Sidious to me in terms of, like, how awful he is. And, well, he actually wins, though. Darth Sidious does not win. This guy actually wins. And not only does he win, he tricked the main character into helping him win. It's nuts. That is one of the most detestable movie villains I've ever seen. So it's about Los Angeles. And, like, old Los Angeles. It's about, like, the 40s, I think. The movie was made in the 70s. It's Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson's in every single scene because the whole thing's supposed to... He's a private investigator, and the reason he's in every scene is we're basically only seeing what he is seeing. So you're trying to, like, figure stuff out yourself as it's going along. Buff Blight. It's a funny name. Thanks for the follow, mate. I appreciate it. Actually, you know what's funny? I can actually say I want to buff Blight in some way. This is funny, but the way people got mad about how Oni can now do 180s on controller, I wish the same for Blight. I wish controller players could flick as hard as mouse and keyboard Blights could. And I don't want it to nerf, because that's a little, yeah, we should nerf the... No. I want controller players to be able to flick that hard, which in a way would be buffing Blight. I was like, so how's that for a hot take for you? Well, Vecna was the killer that made my game crash last time. Caduceus? I don't know who this is. Hey, have a good night, Jason. James is a Legion, or James is Legion. I lied. You know what's funny? Is like one of the big things that makes me hate ghouls is I guess the factor in Vecna and why I don't like the skulls elevation thing. I bring this up the other day when I was whining hard about it. Because it was me and another survivor both got hit by it. Because there was a slight change in elevation and there was wall blocking it on Leary's. So we have to just try to guess and just not get hit by it. We both got hit by it with the same skull. It wasn't even two different skulls. It was the same single projectile. And the thing that makes me annoyed by that is just because there's like other killers that get so fucked by just the tiniest change in elevation, like that same type of change. Like Doctor or Pyramid Head or Nemesis or Artist sometimes. A little bit more in change in elevation, but yeah, stuff like this. And I shall be at 5 million soon. I get blood points for this, right? Yeah, you can use random little environment against Blight as well. And Blight has to exist anyway. Same with Nerfs. Like, you can't nerf either of them, because what are you going to do about some dumbass Swifts? It comes across like a broken record, but the amount of times I'm like, if we were on communications, this would have been easy. If we were on communications, this and that. And I'm like, but they get like 25 perks for free on communications, like a 4-stack. And they get more than that, because like if you're playing against a killer like Bubba's an easy one to point to. Like, if they have Bamboozle, which Bubba kind of needs Bamboozle, in my opinion, but if Bubba has Bamboozle and I get hit by it, or I see they have Bamboozle, now everybody on the team knows he has Bamboozle, whereas there's no perk in the game that'll do that. So, like, potentially, if you're playing as killer, you can surprise and get 4 different free hits on 4 different survivors because they didn't know he had Bamboozle because they were all solo queue. There's shit like that. I'm like, that's not even a perk that in the game that could do that for you. That's just communications. That's why Trapper sucks against Swift so bad. Legion, actually, speaking of which, that's the biggest reason Legion is so bad against Swifts. When you're playing in solo queue and it's Legion and you see 2 people get put in a mend and you don't know where your other survivor is that's not been hit yet, and you don't know where the killer is, I just end up running to the far corner of the map and just sitting there until I know for a fact they're not in Frenzy anymore. And it's like, and then, but if you're on communications, they're like, oh, they already left me. Like, you can, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, shit, I don't know. And I want to get forward and I want to get somebody else forward. Wish I had more. How to juice them. I was like, hey, Harry Giga Chad, teammate. I do that every now and then. I can't. They're being super nice.
This is taking screams in the dark to a whole nother level.
Yeah, solo queue teammates not knowing how Legion works. The good thing is if solo queue teammates want to heal and whatnot against Legion, you're like, hey, we can do this because we get a bunch of blood points. You're like, sure, let's heal. Chicken fajitas. That sounds great. Yeah, the small loops. And environment. So you might not even make it to the next pallet or anything like that, but you got like a rock that's going to force an M1. But you're right, I feel like 120 frames. There's some times where immediately you're like, that would not have been possible on controller. But that's what I point out when I'm playing against Blight. And that's what I always, when I was like, buff Blight, I was like, in a way, I kind of want Blight buffed. But controller Blights. Because I don't want to be able to be like, they're on mouse and keyboard. Because there's nothing wrong with playing on mouse and keyboard, but it just sucks being like that's not possible to do on controller, so I know for a fact they're on mouse and keyboard. Same with Thony, when they like 180 flick you. But now it's nice. Because now you're just thinking about them as 180 flick. You don't have to be like, they won't be able to hit me if they're on controller here. That's dumb. I know some people were a little annoyed when they took that away, because I understand if they're like, it took away some of the skill ceiling. It's like, yeah, but it made it more fair, though, for like, you know. Oh, Nolly. We actually think we did have a hype train earlier. Oh my god, I remember when I was a kid and I loved this song. My parents were always rolling their eyes. And then I got old enough and realized I loved a song about red wine. I was like, it sounds so happy.
Let's try to not lose any blood.
Hey, speaking of artists, we were talking about how artist gets affected by change in elevation too. Has to be a bit more drastic of a change than what fucks over Pyramid Head and Doctor and Nemesis, though. There's more than just those. Those are just the easiest ones to think about. Oh yeah, good point. I didn't see that. So usually when you see an emote, if it's from a channel, it'll like start saying their name. I think that's what my emotes do. So like ASAB, I think is like Mr. Tato, because it's weird. It like auto names it for you, in a way. So it's like Mr. Tato ASAB or something. I'm in the iridescent program. They gave me a bunch of orc cells. I can show you the thing too. It's funny because the message is still there in the menu. Because I logged in and it was just like, and it was like, it was funny. I wanted to go get the bear outfit, the bear skin that came out in the summer, and I was like, well, I'll wait until the DLC comes out. I don't know how often we get those. Because someone said we get them a few times a year, but I have no idea. All I know is it's for DLC, so I'm assuming when there's a new DLC, we're going to get some. But I don't know if we're going to get that many. I would love to get that many, because I would love to just get all the fucking cosmetics. That'd be sweet. But the bear skin I definitely want to get, but that shit's expensive. It's like $18 or something, right? Oh my god! I was going to wait for it to go on sale in summertime. Because then it'd be like $14 or something, you know? Maybe. Hopefully. See, I don't know if we can make it up here. Yes. No, you're supposed to swing. Am I tripping? Or is that like a cheeks looking hit? Or am I just whining? Okay, I'm not whining. I mean, I'm whining. I am whining. The roommate rule is still whining. But I was like, what in the world? I was like, I don't think they didn't seem laggy. It is a little bit high ping, I suppose. It's not like 100 or anything like that. Hey, let's go, Buff Plate. I still got tons more coming. I'm just not a full-time content creator, and the videos keep getting longer because they keep getting more examples. But at some point in the next few months, I'm gonna, then for like 3-ish months, I'm gonna make videos that I know fit the algorithm, because then you can do a single tile video with like one example, because it keeps it short. I just don't like making those as much because it never tells the full story. So I want to have all the long guides done. Eventually, I can do how to play against every killer as well, but that's why I'm doing Nurse first. Plus, Nurse really needs it. Because I did not realize how many people thought Nurse had no counterplay. Nurse is my favorite killer in the whole game to play against. Because, like, this pillar right here is completely useless against every killer in the entire game, except Nurse. Oh, Blight too. Well, no, Blight, because there's the walls, so you might be able to bounce off the wall if the wall, you know what I mean, type of hit you. But that's what I mean, really. Because if Nurse sees you and you run it, she's going to have to blink to the correct side and hit you. Whereas, like, say there was no windows or pallets over here, it wouldn't matter. Because you could run past this, Nurse starts to blink, you run past to this, and you either double back past this if she went all the way past you, right, and try to get to the other, and then you try to get to the other side if she's far enough where it's going to be hard to even blink to this side of it. Or if you run back to this and she readjusts, but yet she has to blink to the right side, and then you juke this way for half a second, immediately cut this way, and she blinks over there. Like, I know it's a hot take, but I think Nurse is the most balanced. Same with this right here. You could use this to avoid getting a hit. But I think Nurse is the most balanced killer in the entire game. My favorite killer to play against, too. And the whole counter argument is like, well, if you know how to play against Nurse and she hits every single blank and wins every 50-50, what do you do then? I mean, you could say that about any killer if they win every 50-50 and shit, but specifically hit every blank, so there was like nothing you could do. I'm like, okay, well, for this guy, there's 200 matches, and the only Nurse that hit every single blank against me was a bot. Now, there was like 3 or 4 other Nurses where they hit every blank, but it was like trading for hook, you know what I mean? And I'm like, this technically counts as a Nurse, didn't miss it. Like here, like I get hit once right on the blink, or I get hit and then I have to go get them off the hook before they die, and then as I'm unhooking them I get hit again. I'm like, technically they didn't miss a blink there, but like, come on. Games like that, I'm like, fine, this Nurse was technically perfect, but like, come on, we need more proof than that. And that's my counter argument to that, where it's like, fine, I concede, is that the right word, concede, that if Nurse hits every blank, then there's nothing you could have done. And it's like, well, let's look at how many times that happened in 200 matches, you know? That's my counter argument back to that. Like, that's why I like playing. Everything you look at can be used against Nurse. That's why I love playing against Nurse. This shit here can be the difference between getting hit or not. You, like, run past that, and then you cut back to this, and then you cut on the other side of this, so it forces her to blink on in between this thing here and this wall without going too far, without going to the wrong side of that. You know what I mean? Like, shit like that is why I love playing against Nurse and think she's the most balanced killer in the game. It's the only killer that uses every teeny little bit of map design. So you can use like a pallet thing as well. Oh, unfortunate RNG. Damn. This is glitched. There should be a pallet here. It wouldn't have mattered there, obviously, but the indoor maps are bugged, and there's just like rooms that should have pallets. The worst is RNG and Hawkins, though. They're like tied. Because Hawkins, you get those big double rooms that are only supposed to have 2 pallets, and that's it. And the huge double room anyway. I mean, any more would be way too many, but even one would just like, huh, this is kind of a big dead zone. But you'll get the big double rooms to spawn with no pallets sometimes. We had that happen the other day in the bail room, which was sad because I love that. It's like one of my favorite loops in the whole game, but it spawned neither pallet. And it's like, okay. I think it's a bug specifically because on Midwich, there's 8 total classrooms that spawn because there's 4 hallways, right? And there's 2 classrooms in each hallway. And there, of those rooms, classrooms that can spawn, since there's 4 left and 4 right classrooms, there are 6 total that can spawn, and 6 on each side, because there's 12 total rooms that can spawn, but you get 8 every game. And 2 of the rooms that spawn on the left side are completely empty by design, not supposed to have a pallet there. And all of the rooms on the right side are supposed to, by design, have a pallet there. And that's to make up for that as well, so you can't just get a dead zone next to a dead zone, but it is glitched, and you can get a dead zone next to a dead zone, and that entire hallway is just, like, unloopable. And that's what I mean by, yes, I'm 100% that's bugged, because there's no way that would be intended. The clock tower is even bugged. I've seen it spawn with only 1. But Lake Chaz, I 100% trust Lake Chaz. They're the ones that sent me those map things as well. But he said he's seen it spawn with 0. Or he ran there on the first chase, and there was none there. I ran there, and there's only been 1. But him saying that he's ran into 0, I'm like, number 1, I 100% trust you. Number 2, I can 100% see that happening. Dude, where the fuck is that person on gen? I ran by a gen. But it was really close to the chase. Is that where they're on? Because I didn't think that gen had enough progress. Here we go. Oh, they're doing the fucking slingshot. They must have seen my aura. It didn't even make any sound. Don't you love DBD working as intended? Because I was waiting for the birds to be shot sound, and I was going to jump off the generator. Made no sound, and they shot 2 rounds of birds. Hey, yeah, that's Chaz right there. That's what I was talking about, like Chaz. With the clock tower. Yeah, he was really annoyed. I remember him being like, that was a great time. Running to have some fun on the clock tower, and there just being literally nothing. So I cornered myself. Completely cornered. That sucks. That's one of my favorite, most fun loops in the whole game. That's the loop I like to show people when it's like, no, Survivor is easy and really fun. You don't even have to use your brain on that one. Just checkpoints. Don't try to win a 50-50 or throw a pallet and get away from it. It's like, nope, just loop this as long as it goes on for. And the longer it goes, the better time you have. I think, fuck. Took the skill checkpoint away. Damn it. You're lucky, fuck. Juicer! Aw, I was hoping she'd run back around this way. Get that juice. Maybe intended. I'm literally just being petty to waste time and get like 10 more blood points. Oh shit. What is this RNG? Because I'm gonna go down soon. I gotta throw in the pallet on you. If the game depended on it, I would have. I would have gotten a pallet stun and everything. We're in position.
Reminds me of a story I once read.
And we had terrible RNG that game too. That whole side was blocked, so I wanted to run around the long way. And it was do it again. Yeah, Nemesis would struggle there if they're not in tier 3. To like a frustrating degree. Conviction let us be petty though. That's funny. Just to run, get him super far away from the other slug. Love doing that shit. That's why you shouldn't slug for the 4K. You get almost no more blood points. I love talking trash about that because I used to think that was the smart idea, and then One Pump Willie had like hundreds of games to go off of and realized he was getting more blood points and more kills by playing more games. Because slugging for the 4K was wasting too much time. His time to blood points and kill ratio was down. That's my goat, too. I think he has all-time kills as well. Oh, it's probably the last game. Almost got to 5 million, but we also got the 250,000 blood points bonus tomorrow, right? From the store. Do we get a new Rift tomorrow, or is that going to be like a week after the DLC? He's been doing a slugging build, right? Really has with Unknown. That's what's cool too. He always does streaks on killers that you like wouldn't expect to streak on. I mean, the Onryo was obviously the first one because everyone's like, Onryo is F tier. That was actually the thing that made him realize how to get the most blood points and whatnot in games, because he needed to get like some type of add-on. They changed the add-ons to Onryo, so I don't remember which one it was. I think it was like the tape that they made iridescent now. Because it didn't used to be iridescent. He just needed to get as many blood points as possible because it wasn't rare enough where you had to maximize per game. He just needed as many blood points as possible. And he was trying to get as many as many oh fuck, we got windows of opportunity. I hate this shit. I was like, why is all these aura everywhere? Because I just end up ignoring the aura. There's just too much shit on the screen. Damn, my fucking voice. Should have taken some decongestion. How did I not get hit by that? Like, what the fuck? We had 2 artists in a row. This corner doesn't work against artists, but it's still fun to go do it anyway. That was weird. Throw it! I could have thrown that on you. Let's go. So I say throw it, I'm guessing if they're going to swing or respect or not. And I was like, oh yeah, we could have slammed that. Are you crazy if I'm throwing that pallet in the first chase of the game? I can't even remember the last time I threw you those pallets anyway, to be honest. They're just too much fun not to throw. Yeah, Brown, thank you. So Brown's the second one I've heard about that. That's what we were talking with Chaz about. Because we were talking about the indoor maps being bugged. I was like, I've only ever seen one pallet be missing there. I was like, and I brought up Chaz. I was like, I know like Chaz has seen 0 pallets there, and now you're saying it too. It was already confirmed, like, I 100% trust Chaz. That just sucks, though. People say that how that pallet doesn't spawn, and it's like, yep. Up the stairs. You see what I'm talking about? Elevation just fucks over artists. Run up the stairs, I won't get hit by it. Yeah, exactly. First chase of the game where let's go have some fun at the clock tower, and then you literally just corner yourself with no pallets. That's terrible. That has to be a bug. At least I can actually, because of Windows, because I keep tuning out the, like, mentally, just eliminating all the auras, because there's too much shit on the screen. At least I can go to the hallway and see if we got a bugged room. Did she have DS? She had to have had DS. That's hilarious. That's the Lori that spawned with DS in Chaos Shuffle. Maybe Lori got herself tunneled. Because she wasn't really getting tunneled. She went after me between Lori. But... you know what I mean? Yeah, Ghoul. That's me too. It's the only killer I hate playing against. Vecna, there's scenarios I don't like. We're talking about a slight elevation at like certain loops and stuff like that. But what makes me hate it more is the fact that that's why we were talking about artists, and I was like, how elevation hurts artists. Although you need a bigger change in elevation for artists, but like Doctor and Pyramid Head and Nemesis, like they get fucked by like a half step up. And that's what sucks, that like Vecna can just get like uncounterable hits. It's not on every map, so like I'll play like 10 games against Vecna and not have like a really frustrating type of thing happen, and all of a sudden you just get like Blood Lodge. Or every single loop has like a half step up. Oh my god. Damn it. I wanted to get it off and then jump in. See if we could do both in time. A bug? What bug? Yeah, Vecna 2 is not going to be the most fun to play against, I think, as well. Because it's that whole thing with the Vecna, or Vecna 1, yeah. With the skulls, how they, if there's like a change in elevation, they'll just take pot shots with the skulls. And you can't see it coming through the walls, so you just have to hope it doesn't hit you. And you can't duck underneath it, so you just have to hope you're standing in a spot where it doesn't hit you. So yeah, I'm probably not going to like playing against Vecna 2 that much. But I'm not going to hate it as much as Ghoul, though. Ghoul, I'm always going to extra hate, no matter what. because we were supposed to get health chapter. That's what they told us. We were getting health chapter. We're not having any new DLC. We're just gonna have a health chapter. And we were all like, yay! And then the morning of the P2B, it was like, hey, there's actually a new killer instead of health chapter. And before I even knew what the killer was, I didn't know what the killer's name was. I didn't know anything about the killer. And I was like, I fucking hate this killer. And like, whenever there's bugs coming out, I'm always blaming it on Ghoul. Like, at the back of my mind, I'm like, this is Ghoul's fault somehow. Well, this is bad. I forgot I was on Deathhook. No, empty room. That sucks. You are so fucking lucky. Holy fucking shit. So this is what I was talking about, right? How you have an empty room and you'll get it next to a room that... You see how you have one pallet in that room? You're always supposed to have one pallet in the right side rooms, just like that. But that's where I say it when it's bugged the worst. Is when you have an empty room that's supposed to spawn empty like this one was, and you'll get it next to a bugged room that has no pallet. So the entire hallway is just one huge dead zone, and it's like... Bruh. That's why I think it's a bug. Because there's no way that's by design. Or they just have like a humongous whole portion of the... That's like a fourth of the map at that point. Is a dead zone. You know, and it's like, I don't think they would do that on purpose. Personally.
What is
Yeah, Ghoul. I just hate Ghoul. Ghoul sucks. Ooh, finally got this tome done, but I don't think it's that much. 921. Nah, but I need to play some Clone Hero and then get off. What is this? Yeah, see, these are the ones I try to avoid. I can do that one tomorrow, maybe with like Blast Mine or something. But I like to do the brainless ones where you don't have to think about like whatsoever. Like that. Repair a total of 4 generators. Heal health states, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to think like at all. You just work your way through the ones where you don't have to focus on, and then get the ones where you have to focus on. And then the ones that are like extremely hard that take a while, that's when I can be doing the killer ones. Instead. Wait, is Bone Brain still here? Because Bone Brain wanted me to play... They spent 10,000 channel points earlier to get me to play Clone Hero. On the plus side, my PC did not crash. I'm really hoping it was that Windows update fixed it from crashing, because after that last Windows update, all of a sudden my PC was crashing all the time. And then we had another one and it didn't crash since today, so I'm hoping. But at the same time, we never know exactly what caused it. Alright. Anyone seen Guitar Hero? I'm pretty sweaty. Oh yeah, somebody was asking if I was in the iridescent tier. This is the thing. There was like sells gifts to partners, and it just popped up, and I was just like... But I'm waiting until the stuff comes out tomorrow, because I really want that Oni bear skin. This one I'll show you. I really want this one, but I don't know how much of the DLCs or how often we get these shards or whatnot, but I was like, hey, I want to get this Oni bear skin now, because this thing's expensive. I was going to wait until summertime, because then it'd be cheaper because of the summer sale, but I was like, hey, I might get this one now. That one's awesome. I'm still going to wait until tomorrow, because this Auric cells they gave us is supposed to be for the DLC and for, like, the DLC skins to wear. So I was like, I don't know if we're going to get that much every time, or if we're going to get, you know, or how often we're going to get it. But I don't have a code yet, so apparently the only people that have codes are basically the people that were Fog Whisperers. And apparently that's in a beta. That was the first thing I asked when I got into the Discord. I was like, because I think I put Tater down, but that's really what I was like concerned about. And they're like, they're gonna roll out more of those later. They said in the next year, but I didn't see if that when the message they were referring to. I forgot to look if that was in 2025 or 26. I was like, so by 27 or by like the end of this year, you know. But that right now says it's like in a beta thing, from what I understand. So pretty much the only people that have a code were people that were like original Fog Whisperers. I don't know if Bone Brain is here though. He always wanted me to play some Opeth though. I need to make sure really quick. Okay, here we go. Nice. So he usually wants me to play some Opeth. But if they're not here though. Huh. Oops. Yeah, let's do it. No! I hadn't missed until then. Oh, fuck. Fuck! Woo! This part's fucking awesome. I still don't know what genre of music this is. Is it blues? This part? Help me cure you. Oh, the best riff in the whole song's coming up soon. It sounds so melancholy. Damn it. I was gonna get 7, but I didn't. Now it's static, right? Yeah, that's the thing. It goes through so many different genres. Starts off on death metal. Same with Ghost of Perdition. Blackwater Park is just all death metal. That fucking song has some of the best riffs ever. Yeah, that's all I'll do on the play out. Just play the best riffs of Blackwater Park. Got to find someone to raid first. But Blackwater Park has 4 riffs in that song. They're actually, it's funny because I always think of those as like the 4, but they're labeled like A, B, C, and one of them is just heavy because it's the part with the solo. It goes heavy, and then that heavy part's playing while the solo goes. Hey, Pally's live. Let's raid Pally. We haven't been able to raid Pally in forever. Yeah, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out. It was such a privilege to have friends to hang out. I'm sorry that PC's stream or crashed again today. I'm hoping that Windows Update was the thing that's different. There's still a few things I can do as well. And then somebody was saying that I could run like a health checkup on my PC basically to see if anything's wrong. So like I said, there's still things I can do, but it's good to do little bits at a time because that way you can figure out what was actually wrong in the first place. But hopefully no crashes tomorrow. And hell yeah. And I'm still working on some. On Thursday, I think I might end up doing that nurse walkthrough, actually. But that'll be on Thursday. We'll get to that when we get to Thursday. But have an amazing night, everybody. And thank you so much for hanging out. Oh, actually, let me get to practice mode first. Yeah, here we go. These fucking riffs are so nasty. Oh my god, dude, that shit is so nasty. They got so many good riffs in this fucking song. Let's riff A, riff B. Have an amazing night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.